everyone. Welcome to the Seeds of Success podcast, hosted by Dottie San Martin and myself, Orly Rivera. This show is your weekly dose of knowledge, insights, and actionable tips to transform centers into striking successes. Whether you are a seasoned industry professional or just stepping onto the lanes, we've got you covered. Dottie, I'm very excited for today's show. It kind of hits me personally, I guess I'll say, and I know that other people probably come across this before, and especially if you're new to a center, you know, we like to tell people don't be discouraged or, you know, worry about things. So we're here today to help. And what I wanted to talk about was every once in a while, you might have this slow day where, you know, like, where are all the people at? And instead of just being like, man, I guess we're just going to sit here twiddling our fingers, we're going to talk about what you can do to try to get some people into your center and show them a good time.
Yes. Very, very good topic. And, you know, you can't just be full all the time. There are going to be those cases. There's going to be things come to town. You know, I know we have like rodeo, we have Friday night football, and you never know who's going to go to those things and who's not, and who's still going to want to come into the center. So there's going to be days. It's not a time to get discouraged. But when you have some sort of backup plan or at least a way that you are going to attempt to get people to come in or visit the center, then it certainly helps out.
Yeah. And I think one thing that we should bring up before moving on is, you know, if you're able to, you should always kind of have a calendar of events that are happening in your town so you can prevent things like this. But you just never know. Again, there might be a slow day and you're like, what is going on? Maybe there was something you didn't hear about and somebody says, oh, you know, such and such is going on, or there's a big graduation, you know, something you missed. And if that's the case, that's where we want to be. Okay, kind of have a last minute plan. Like, how can we get people in here? You know, what can we do to get some people in here to fill these lanes?
Yeah. And, you know, to add on to that, not just know what's going on within the community, but also check with the different school districts in the college and university calendars to see what's going on there, because they also have a huge impact on what's going on, you know, as far as the flow of traffic in your center. So, you know, that's something you can do in advance. I would say put all that stuff on a calendar when you find out, because just like it might be a slow day for you on the very opposite extreme of that, it also might generate it to be a very busy day, and you want to make sure that you're staffing up for it, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I think there's a lot of ways you could go about this. You know, like I said, if you're starting to notice a little trend, you know, first couple hours you're open and you're maybe usually busy at those times, and all of a sudden you're like, man, where's everybody at? What can we do to get people in? My first go-to is going to be social media. You know, that's the biggest one. That's a way to get to people that are out there and let them know, hey, we're open today. Whether it's, hey, we're open. You know, it's a hot day out there. You want some free air conditioning? Come on in. Or the opposite. It's cold out there. Come use our heater today. You know, there's so many different ways you could kind of have fun with it and tell people that you need them to come in.
Yes, I totally agree with that. And social media is the quickest. It's the most reasonable. It doesn't cost you anything, right?
Yep.
It's no secret. All of our listeners know that we are both huge fans of social media, because you have, you know, the possibilities are endless of how you can promote your center and how you can encourage your guests to promote your center. But certainly you don't have to be the one doing it, right? Because I know a lot of our listeners are like, they're crazy. I would never, you know, go live on social media or feel comfortable doing something like that. It doesn't have to be you, number one. That's the first message I want to get out. It can be somebody within your staff. So keep your eyes open and see who you have that's comfortable doing things like that. But also, you know, just messaging and things like that are okay to put on social media too. It's a great way to get the word out.
Yeah. And if for some reason, you know, you don't want to be on video, maybe there's nobody else around, maybe just kind of show your bowling center, walk with the camera, show your lanes, you know, show your cook, hey, you know, Bob's here ready to cook some burgers, guys. Come on in today. Show the lanes. You can make a joke and say, guys, I told my boss I was going to get it filled in here today, and there's nobody here yet. Guys, help me out. Come on down here. Bring your family. You know, I'll throw out some specials, you know, maybe give some specials, you know, buy an appetizer. I'll give you a free soda. I don't know. Just, you know, there's so many different things you can do to get people. People love deals, right? And they love free things. So why not, you know, maybe it's a free 30 minutes of bowling if you come purchase an hour right now, or free shoes, or just something along those lines that could help get people in.
Yeah, for sure. And the other thing is, you know, we've said this before on other episodes. Always when you do have people in your center, encourage them, you know, to check in, encourage them to do things like go live. So you can always generate that too. If you only have a handful of people in there, maybe you do a special lucky train and ask one of the people, if they would, if they're into social media, if they'd like to stream it, that you're getting ready to go, do a special running of the lucky train. So there's all different ways that you can spin it. And at the end of the day, just be creative, get out there, and people will start to identify who you are, right?
Yeah.
If you start to do these things. I'll share with you a story, Orly. We have a local meat market, right?
Okay.
Who would think that a local meat market would go in and be so heavily involved in social media? But I look forward to the butcher going live and telling me about what cuts of meat they have and different tips on how you can prepare that. And he is doing it live from the butcher shop.
Oh, cool.
And he's reeled me in. But what does that make me want to do? It makes me know that he has aged ribeyes that he just cut. And what's my next thing? Hey, honey, can you go to the meat market and get one of those? I saw Joe on Facebook, and they looked amazing. So yeah, you never know. You never know.
And that's kind of fun when you have a kind of a random twist like that. Like you would never think like, oh, this is a meat market posting this. That's kind of just like during, football games on TV, you see a commercial and you're like, oh wow, what's this commercial was great. What is it for? And then the end's like some company and you're like, I've never heard of that, or they're advertising that. Like it's something so weird and random. But again, it might make your following grow by people being like, man, you got to follow this center. They're so funny, the things they do, and I think another thing that people use is if you have some kind of mailing list, like whether it's a newsletter list, maybe send out, I know a word you like to say, or, you talk about is like a flash sale, because that gets your attention. So maybe flash sale or open this now. Do not wait. And then in that email, hey guys, come in today. We're doing this special. We're doing this. Let's get some people in the center for a limited time. Make sure you bring in this email or just whatever along those lines. And I think that's a great way to get people into.
Yeah. And, a lot of our listeners probably have text databases now. So you can send out a text that says, hey, I'm bored. Come visit me and receive, this offer. So there's all sorts of ways that you can spin it. At the end of the day, not everything that you do is going to work. But folks, if you don't try it, you'll never know. So you have nothing to lose except a little bit of time in order to do that. And Orly, the same thing goes. You are going to have days in your center and maybe people are just not eating and drinking, or at least not as much as you would like them to be eating and drinking. And you can certainly prompt that by doing different things too. I know one of the things that we used to do is we used to do it before our league bowlers came in, and we would always bake a fresh batch of cookies, because it's so nice to come into the center and have that smell of fresh baked cookies. Number one, it takes you back to that warm feeling and that feeling of this is a good place to be, right? But it also makes you hungry, right? It's like, that's pretty darn good. I think I need to go to the cafeteria or go to the snack bar and get me something to eat. Or popcorn, bake some pop some popcorn if if you contend with the mess of popcorn, pop some popcorn. So
that's a great idea. Or even maybe little samples. You could cut a cookie into 6 pieces and say, hey guys, you want to try out these new cookies we have? They're now on our menu. Or same thing with popcorn. We're selling popcorn. A lot of people don't know we carry popcorn, but here's a little sample. And I know we've got sample, when you go to a grocery store and they give you a sample and you're like, oh wow, where's that at? I want to get some of that. It's so good. So I think that's a great way to get people to buy things that they might not know that they want yet. They might not know they're hungry. You got to kind of give them a little shove and let them know, hey, you're hungry. You need to buy some food.
Yes, absolutely. And, this is, I'm going to venture out just a little bit, and this is actually a topic for another day, but, that is absolutely right. When you have little samples that you can give out to customers, number one, they think that's pretty cool, but it's also a great way for you to kind of test the water to see if you're thinking about having a new item on your menu. It's a really good way to kind of test it out. And like you said, it sparks. It's like, oh my gosh, I got a taste of something. I'm hungry. I got to go find out what to eat. So, and don't forget, listeners, to leverage your vendors in cases like that. and I know this is a topic for another show, but we're talking about bringing it in business. Don't forget to leverage your vendors and have them give you ideas of things that are new in the market or trending that maybe could be used to bring new customers into your center.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, listeners, thank you so much for letting us plant these seeds of success with you today. Keep on tending to the garden of goals, and we'll be back with more wisdom to help you grow.